Good evening. Welcome, social media, to Real Fellas Talk Sports. My name is Earl Rush, and I will be the moderator for the show today. Let me bring the panel on to introduce you all to our panel. We'll start off with Big Bob Kinsey, Special K Kinzer. Bobby, how are you today?
Earl, how you doing, man? I'm absolutely wonderful, marvelous, and stupendous. Let me tell you, I'm so happy. I'm happier than a one-eyed man looking through a keyhole at a brothel. Ooh, baby.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Kevin, we have these rules on our show. Like when someone says something that's totally outrageous, we ask people not to laugh because that would just encourage Bobby to say something else silly.
That's my man.
So try to refrain from laughing at all his corny stuff today. Okay, also we have Charles Snowden from St. Anthony. We have three guys from St. Anthony on the panel today, but we're talking about Charles right now. Charles, how are you? Okay.
All right. I'm doing wonderful, Go. Looking forward to the show.
Oh, I thought he had a closed caption.
All right. And we also have another St. Anthony graduate, Kevin McNutt. Kevin, how are you today?
Man, I was doing well until I saw that promo with your picture, Chuck, and Larry's. Man, y'all scaring people away. You ain't show me and Bobby.
Oh, wow.
And look, I'm pretty as a girl, as Ali would say.
I hear that. Okay, well, I apologize. I did not have time to rearrange David's videotape. I apologize. And last but not least, my friend from over 60 years. God darn.
Whoa.
He also attended St. Anthony. It's Mr. Larry Abels. Larry, how are you today?
I'm good, sports doctor, ready to do this show.
Sports doctor?
Oh, you didn't know that's who I was?
You got many titles, brother.
Okay, let's get back to the show because we're trying to cut the show down to 45 minutes instead of an hour today.
Good luck.
We'll see.
Yeah, how about that?
Exactly.
My contract don't read like that.
Okay. All right. Larry, is it possible you can update us on what's going on with Simone Biles?
Sure. The World Artistic Gymnastic Championships just ended this week. She gathered 5 medals, and she's now the most decorated gymnast of all time. She won an individual all-around medal. She won a balance beam. She won a floor exercise. They won a team competition, and she actually fell on the vault today and still came in second place.
Hey.
My hat goes off to her, and think about the comeback that she had after the Olympics when she had the twisties and couldn't perform, and a lot of people were questioning her. And she's done this at an advanced age for a gymnast. I think Chuck mentioned it last week. She's the GOAT. It's kind of hard to argue with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed, Larry, that you're so deep enthralled in gymnastics. I'm impressed. Thank you for bringing us up to date. You remind me of Jim Jordan at Ohio State.
So it had nothing to do with Jim Jordan, so
okay.
No connection there.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to the WNBA. We have the finals, and we have the Las Vegas team playing the Liberty from New York. Las Vegas is up one game right now. Who do you think will win that championship series, Kevin McNutt?
Man, I'm gonna come straight up. I have not watched much of it. I'm trying to get into it now a little bit, but I'm deferring to y'all. I defer my time to Mr. Charles Snowden because I really can't.
All right. Well, we appreciate your candor and not just making up crazy stuff because we've had people on the show that said, "I didn't see the show, but I'm going to go with what Larry said." So at least you admitted that you didn't know, so you can speak on it. Okay, Charles, you know anything about the who do you think is going to win between Vegas and New York Liberty?
Well, I think the Aces. I think the Las Vegas Aces are going to win behind Asia Wilson and that crew and Becky Harmon. They look good. they have almost like a super team, and they're playing against a super team. Both those teams have won over 30-some games. But I do believe that the Vegas Aces are going to win. They won it last year.
Okay. All right. Big Bob?
I think I'm going with Chuck with the Aces, Las Vegas. There just seems to be a stronger team to me. They've been giving them enough to go for, but I always like any team out of New York, though, you're going to get a competitive team. But I'm going with the Las Vegas Aces.
Okay. All right, Larry, who do you like in the series?
I'm gonna probably go with the Aces too. You know, this is a dream matchup. Like Chuck said, these were the two teams that won over 30 games. They split the regular season, and when you watch this, the last three MVPs are playing. 2001 was Jonquel Jones, who's actually from this area, that went to Riverdale Baptist with my son. Then we have Asa Wilson, who won it last year, and Brianna Stewart, who won it this year. So you got a lot of star power out there. Like I said, they split the regular season 2-2, but the Aces just looked a little better to me. They outscored them by 10 points in both the third and fourth quarters overnight, and I look for that to continue.
Okay. All right. So we're going to move over to the NFL, and we'll talk about we're going to go over a couple of games and some other topics that's going on in the NFL this season. Okay. First game I wanted to talk about, Bears and the Commanders. It was last Thursday. What are your thoughts on that game, Larry? What was your take from the game?
I think off camera we talked about who was the worst team in the NFL. This is off camera, one meeting last week, and we thought it was the Chicago Bears almost unanimously. And I think we all know that we were wrong now. I mean, they certainly looked more prepared to play than Washington did, and came out, you know, just how we used to say back in the day, mollywopped them. I mean, no contest. Washington looked like garbage.
Okay.
He said they mollywopped him.
Yeah, I heard that term before.
I ain't never heard that before.
All right, Bobby, what do you think? What did you think about that game?
As much as I'm a DC guy,
Uh-oh.
and I try so hard to stay with my Commanders, they make it hard, man. I ain't gonna lie. They make it hard. They just I don't know what's going on with DC sports overall. We just can't get it together, period. But I was embarrassed about the way they got smashed.
Okay.
I just don't even want to talk no more about it.
Okay. All right, Larry Abels.
I already commented.
You were the first one.
Yes.
Hello. Okay. Mr. McNutt, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give the Commodores or whatever the name is. That name got to go. Commodores, whatever it is. That got to go. First of all, I hope Magic and the boys change that. But look, I will. In their defense, they fought hard at Philly, big time rival, probably next to Dallas is their rival. The game goes overtime. They score in the last play of the regular season, last play of the game. Should have went for 2, but that's another Rivera story. We can pass on him. So they lose the game eventually on a 54-yard field goal. That was Sunday. They would just come out flat as a pancake. And a quick turnaround on Thursday. Bears jumped out. Look, we got 4 number 1 picks on the defensive line, and they will get the line of scrimmage. That, if you want to know when a team is flat, that's the telltale sign. Who's controlling the line of scrimmage on both ways? 17-0 first quarter, game was over. Another one, DJ Moore had alumni party at that joint. Maryland, 3 minutes away, goes for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns. And I think Fields had 3 touchdowns in the first half, which hadn't been done. The second game in a row, he's done that. So they were just flat as a pancake. Now, having said that, that's Rivera's job to get them away, because the Bears lost on a stupid play by their coach when they had a chance to go for a field goal to get the lead with 2 minutes to go and didn't. But they had to travel and got it done. But I am going to use that as some rationale, although that's on the coaching staff and the professional players making $1 million a game to get ready.
Okay. All right. So we got 3 reasonable answers. Let's see if we can get lucky and find out what my good friend Chuck Snowden thought about that game. Charles?
Wow, good intro.
Good intro.
Well, I agree with a lot of what everyone said. Larry made a point the other day, and I agree with this point. For some reason, the Commanders come out slow. They start slow. They make adjustments at halftime, and they compete. They did it, and as Kevin said, they did it against Philadelphia. And even when they got blown out by Buffalo the week before that, again, they came out flat in that game. So they've got to figure out a way to do that so they can play two halves. But strategically, because we have spent a lot of money on the front four, we have to start sending our linebackers and our corners because we're not getting to that quarterback fast enough. So I think I watch these other teams in the National Football League. They send linebackers, they send safeties. We don't do that. We think our four guys are going to get there, and they ain't been getting there. So I think both the offense and the defensive coordinator have some work to do. My fingers are crossed they can beat Atlanta this weekend.
The coach got to go. I'm sorry. The coach got to go. Was that flat?
Is that reasonable?
It has to do about the coach. I've never been a fan of him. And then, did you hear him at halftime? The girl said, so what did you say? What are you going to say to them? He said, I'm not saying nothing. I let them speak to each other. She said, well, what did they say to each other? I don't know, but they said something like, what kind of coach is that?
Okay. So now, if you get rid of him, Bobby, which I don't disagree with you, are you giving Bieniemy the shot?
I've given anybody the shot now, but I wouldn't get rid of Bieniemy. I wouldn't get rid of him. I don't know if he's be the head coach, but I would definitely keep him as the offensive coach. And the defensive coach got to go too. I'm sorry.
Okay. Look, see that Bama should have been gone a long time ago. And again, you're going to look. Chuck gets on me, but you open the door. So let me get it straight. In the backdrop of Washington, D.C., this Bama comes out and says that January 6th was nothing but a walk in the park or something like that.
Yes.
He's the D.C. This town was shut down.
Yes.
You know, every one of y'all know this town like the back of your hand. There was a place you could not go. Matter of fact, if you went down 2nd Street, there was armed guard at the ready. I'm not talking about with the shoulder with the pistol on the shoulder. They were at the ready. And this cat, as a DC of the Washington football team, is going to turn around and say,
but like you know,
hey guys, the main thing is the defense didn't play well.
Yeah, okay, you don't want to go there, but I went there now.
It's beyond that, Larry. It's the coach, and like what Kevin said, there's an old saying, because you brought it up. You called him a Bama, and this is what we used to say at Upshur Playground: hit the Bama with the hammer. Get him out of there.
Okay,
get gone.
For those one of our many viewers that we have each week, the term Bama is a street term that is used in Washington D.C. Talks about a guy maybe he doesn't know how to match his clothes, or he don't know about. He's not successful with women, or he's just corny country.
Can't rap.
Can't rap. He just can't do anything. So that's what a Bama means. If you're
and let me just sum it up for you, Earl. A Bama lacks the 3 C's: class, couth, and culture.
Okay. All right. Enough about the Bamas and enough about the Commanders, because we're trying to keep the show
my bad. I'm sorry.
And we spent too much time on
Bobby set me up.
Too much time on those lackluster Commanders anyway. So let's move
People
on.
in jail because of that, McNutt.
Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco game. Charles Snowden, your thoughts on the game?
Oh, geez.
Chuck.
Well, I thought San Francisco is so much better prepared organizationally, the offense, the defense, the coaching, the play calling. I mean, people want to make Brock Purdy Joe Montana, but when I watch the game, the receivers are just wide open. I don't know why people are so wide open. They've got star players everywhere in that lineup, and those two linebackers are Greenlaw and can't remember the other guy's name, but those two linebackers, they were unbelievable. So the 49ers, to me, right now, are the best team in the National Football League. And Dak Prescott is who I've been saying for 3 years is what he is. He can beat the average teams. He can't beat good teams.
Okay. Hey, Terry Reed, our good friend dropped by. How you doing, Terry? Okay, so maybe I might can get one of the other panelists to answer my question. I didn't ask about. I just asked what did you thought about the game, and that was never discussed. Bobby, what did you think about the game?
Oh man, I just think the Cowboys are terrible. Not just because I'm a Commanders fan, but they're terrible. But then you got to also give credit, like Chuck did say, to San Francisco. What's his name? Purdy. He played almost a mistake-free game. And by the way, he has not had an interception. He hasn't even thrown an interception yet. You know, so Dallas got a lot of problems, and the biggest one is Dak. And I want to start right now. You know how we do like the top, teams or the top, rookies.
Yeah.
Let's start a list. The top 5 Bammers in the NFL. I'm through.
Okay, all right.
Dak Prescott is on it, by the way.
No, Daniel Jones is on him. Anyway, Larry, what did you think about the game?
Like Chuck and Bob said, I think San Francisco was so prepared. They were like the antithesis of Washington. Washington came out, didn't look ready at all. San Francisco, they did everything. They were touching up the line. What's the guy? That's my niece right there.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, what's up?
Lauren. New coach, new name, new everything.
You know sports like her.
That's your niece, Larry?
That's my niece.
Hey,
So what you say about it?
Ask your uncle, can he spell, what did you say that big word was? The
antithesis.
Can you spell that?
Yes, I could if I wanted to. But really, what it means is they were actually the opposite of Washington. Let's put it that way. I'll use a better word for you.
Thank you.
Something you may have learned. We noticed at St. Anthony, but I know everybody. I'm just talking to Bobby, man. I just said my fellow Tonys noticed. But anyway, they were prepared. I saw them, Michael Parsons, they were blocking him. A lot of teams let him run wild. They were touching him up, even hitting him when the ball wasn't even coming his way. They knew Dallas's game plan, and they were ready for everything. So San Francisco looks like the real deal to me right now.
Okay. All right. Well, before we go on and get Kevin McNutt's analysis, we have everybody on this panel is from Washington. But I noticed that everybody know I hate them, and the Redskins and the Commanders are trash. But the other two of the people from Washington, Larry and Bobby, just discussed the game. But when it came to Charles and Kevin, they were saying we, as if even though this lackluster, sorry ass team is nothing, they still are rooting for them. Are you still a Commander fan, Kevin and Charles?
I haven't been one since back in George Allen and Billy Kilmer days. So I tell you straight up, I got off the bandwagon again. I got off the bandwagon the day Snyder came over here. So that's so I ain't been there since. I'm coming back now because we got new ownership.
Yeah. The reason why I said that, I know Larry and Bobby are, they go for the home team, but they didn't say we, but you guys
I didn't say we either.
Very good observation.
You said we, Kevin. You said we, Kevin.
Great observation.
You said we.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay.
I wouldn't even brought this point up if you didn't say we.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay. That's cool. But look, you didn't ask me about the game. I'm gonna tell you this. They San Francisco.
I said before I asked you.
It outcoached, outplayed, defense, offense, special team. It was embarrassing. I mean, to see that was no effort. And McCarthy, bye. He won't make it. If they make it to the playoffs, they're gonna be one and done out of there, and he's gonna get fired. They let the OC go to San Diego or go to the Chargers instead of getting rid of him. And this is what you got so far.
Okay.
By the way, Larry, you answered that question wrong. See, when Bobby tried to phone on you, the answer you should have said was, when he asked you about that big word, you should have said, hey, look, I tell people all the time, I went to night school. I'm not that bright in the day. And just walk away, man. Don't let the man scare you like that, man.
Oh, you went to
you got the misimpression that I was scared.
Hey, since we're on the Commanders, can I raise this issue right here? I I have a little issue with Magic Johnson just being all vocal all of a sudden and talking down on players. And stuff. How y'all feel about?
That's a good point. That's a good point, Bob.
How y'all feel about Magic as an owner speaking out like that?
I think that's exactly what he needed to say. That's what I think.
I had absolutely no problem with it.
I love it. I love it.
I have no
Yeah,
problem
what
with
do
it.
you think?
I'm with you, Bobby. I'm like, you've been in 10 minutes.
100%.
You ain't played no football. Come on,
He
man.
got rings.
That's basketball.
Not only that, you've been in 10 minutes, man.
He put up money up for the team.
That doesn't give you the right to come out. You just here.
Yeah.
I mean, do you understand?
I think it does.
But I got a problem with it, Earl, with him coming out.
Absolutely
this
does.
early.
It
And
absolutely does.
Hey, can we let Bobby get his point across?
Yeah,
Come on, Bobby.
and I'm gonna get it through quick, Chuck. As a player, and I understand you got to jump in these guys' stuff, but come on, man. I mean, you coming from that level in basketball. The whole reason why they coming out, it's not that they're not prepared. It's a psychological thing. Most coaches, the X's and O's are handled by the assistant coaches. They're supposed to get players mentally prepared. And now, as an owner, and I know he's trying to psych them up, but sometimes it works in reverse, especially with the young guys today. One thing I learned, you all, from coaching young guys back in the day in the 70s and coaching young guys now, back in the day, you tell them, you ain't going to be nothing, suck it up, pull it up, and they get motivated. But nowadays, you say that to them, they shut down.
They will.
And we were taught what we weren't doing. But nowadays, they want to know what to do. So don't talk down. Tell them what they need to do, Magic. Don't tell them about what they're not doing. And that's the problem.
The statement was real general. He said essentially they didn't show up ready to play.
I disagree.
And they can't be any worse than they did last week. They can't go down because if they can go further down, we're in serious trouble.
Look, I'm with Bobby all the way. Here's my question, Larry, Chuck, and Go-Go. Why did it have to be public? Why can't he say that in the locker room?
Hey,
You've been in town 10 minutes, man.
I think he's grandstanding. Thank you.
I do too.
Thank you, Kevin.
Come on.
Man, they need to suck it up.
Nobody answered my question. Why can't it have been said in the locker room and not public?
Hey, we're public saying it on this show.
Hey, sometimes you need to say stuff.
We don't have a penny in this.
Right, exactly.
What does that mean, Chuck? Hold on,
What does that mean, Chuck?
What does that mean, Chuck?
What are you, a Kappa or something? What the hell?
He was addressing three audiences. It's the team, the effort. He was talking about the effort is unacceptable. The effort is unacceptable.
So why is
fans,
go ahead.
Let them finish.
don't worry, guys. You're not going to get that kind of performance because we're not these kind of owners. Hold on. And third, the vendors and other investors in the league, he's saying it's a different day. That performance, that effort is unacceptable. And that's coming from a winner, a Hall of Famer. I like it. He put everybody on notice.
But if you know how to coach players, and this is all about psychology when it gets to that level, you don't need, I'm like, Kevin, why are you coming to the media saying this instead of going to the team? Why is he saying that? And even the owners, go to the owners. No, you can't tell me he's talking to them. He's talking to the media. And that's
because we buy
know
tickets.
what? We need that in this town. You go to New York or Philly, you'll get that. And their fans demand people perform.
I've never seen nobody do that in New York.
And that's not true. What Larry says is not true. You won't get that from the social media and the talk shows. You ain't get that from the owner. The only owner in the league that would have done something like that is Jerry Jones because he's owner, GM, and coach.
Thank you, Kevin.
Well, you get it in New York when George Steinbrenner was there.
And where is he? Where is he 6 feet under for the last 2 years? Wait a minute.
No, he's not there anymore.
What you just said,
Kevin. This team used to win World Series when he did.
No. What you just said supports Bobby because that happened 30 years ago when Steinbrenner was doing that with Reggie Jackson and Billy Martin and all that. Today's ownership and today's player, you can't do that. That should have been said in the locker room and not broadcast over the whole social media thing. And here's the other thing: what can you do about that? They got 15 games left or whatever, 12 games left. You can't do that to the end of the season anyway.
When you was going to
you
St.
never
Anthony.
tell.
Hey, Kevin, when you
Me
was going
me and Larry are the two.
You gotta get a new microphone, brother.
Say that again, Chuck.
what'd you say, Chuck?
Let me say
Say it again,
delayed
Chuck.
for him.
Come on, Chuck.
It's coming delayed. That's why.
Me and Larry are the two bigger Commander fan. Me and Larry are the two biggest. I know. Me and Larry are the two biggest Commander fans, and we liked the fact that our owner or our minority owner or whatever you want to call him is speaking to us and to the team that the effort is unacceptable.
Well,
If you lose a game, you lose a game.
Flawed.
The effort is
That's
Okay,
where
guys.
it's flawed. Is
We
he's
gotta move.
talking to you and Larry. That's God damn, he don't went that low.
Hey, we're the ticket buying customers here. All right.
Hey guys,
You fools.
again, we spent too much time talking about anything.
No, it's a good one though.
And
It
he's
was
trying to
good,
build
though.
a stadium.
It's nothing good about the Commanders. There's nothing good about talking about them.
No.
It's just a waste of time, Larry. I mean, Bobby.
We are DC home guy. And by the way, Chuck, just because you saying you and Larry are two, it doesn't mean that you're more of a DC fan than I am. It's just that I don't like mediocrity. Okay.
They
And
don't understand that part, Larry.
No, I'm more of a Commander fan. I'm more of a Commander fan.
But I mean,
So Earl, what's next?
I think that's great. See,
I'm with you, Larry.
Bobby, that's the problem with Chuck and Larry. See, they afraid of confrontation, man. See, I'm a 30-year referee. I love to argue.
We don't want afraid of confrontation. We can't talk to you that way or our feelings. We should go to the press. Hey, man, we pay you guys millions of dollars. Show up and play.
I mean, but everybody saw that they were down 17-0. In the first quarter, they down 17-0. Everybody saw they couldn't play. So what's Magic got to say about that? We already know that. And there's nothing he can do about it. See, look here. This is not where he can call a timeout, go up there and say, Kareem, hey, big fella, get down there and block that sky hook. He ain't on the field no more.
And Kevin, they talking about how tough Magic is telling them to suck.
Nobody said he
man
was
that
tough.
was kissing Isaiah in the lips.
Nobody said he was tough. Nobody said he was tough. You guys are the ones saying he's too tough. You're the one who said he's too tough.
Guys, we got to move on. We got to move on. We're spending too much time on this
Chuck, we need to meet them outside after this. You know, we'll straighten this out. I got Indiana Chuck with me. Y'all think y'all something?
Exactly. I'm down, Larry. I'm down.
Kevin, do you hear this?
Hey, from the words of one of Charles's teammates 50 years ago, you got Charles, Larry. You ain't even trying to win.
Juice died, baby. Juice died.
Oh, come on, Charles. You know that was funny. Come on.
Before our viewers tune us out.
Earl. That was funny. That's funny. They put me in the starting lineup and they talking about, oh man, we're not even trying to win.
The Barry Fraser story. That's still funny. So I don't know what.
Yeah, look, I was at the game. You think it was funny now, Bobby? It was funny then too.
Okay, guys, let's move on. I'm slowing down.
Okay, let's move on.
We got to move on. Buffalo and Jacksonville. What are your thoughts about that game, Larry?
You know, I wonder if the time difference really made it. I think Buffalo went over like 2 days before the game and traveling across the globe, as opposed to Jacksonville that played a game there last week and they were able to adjust to the time difference. Yeah. Or, you know, maybe Buffalo just came out flat. I don't know. Jacksonville took it to them.
Okay.
I was surprised at the outcome.
Charles Snowden, your thoughts?
You know it's delayed.
I agree exactly with Larry. Oh, by the way, they just beat Miami in an emotional game. They beat Miami in an emotional game, and they just were a little flat. And like Larry said, Jacksonville was over there for 2 weeks. And I'll tell you something, Jacksonville ain't a bad football team either.
Okay, Bob, what did you think about the game?
Come on,
well,
Bobby. You played internationally. Educate him, Bobby. You played
as y'all do know, I lived, and that's why I played professional basketball for 2 years in England and played in London. So I had a little connection there with the Jacksonville Buffalo. They starting to have more games.
Who knows that?
But 25-20 game. Boring. But I'm with Chuck. I think Jacksonville is a little bit better than I thought.
Okay. Larry, I talked to Larry. I talked to Charles.
Hey, Larry, sleep.
Did I ask you about that, Charles?
No. Hey, go. I'm gonna give props to you because last time I was on, Chuck asked us or Larry asked us who's gonna win the Miami Buffalo game. Me, you said Buffalo. Remember?
Oh yeah.
After Miami beat Denver 70-20, they went and played Buffalo. Okay, Buffalo smashed them 48-20. Now Buffalo goes across the pond. And they get this stuff handed to them by Jacksonville. That's the ebb and flow of emotion, like Chuck and Bobby was saying.
Wow.
And check this out. Speaking of that, the spread changed rapidly once the word got out that they flew over on Friday. The spread changed to go Jacksonville favorite because the bookies know when you travel that late, they have a stat. When teams travel late than what they should, they lose. So the line moved, man. That's why Vegas has got many houses and got your money.
And Kevin,
yes, sir.
What people don't know, England is a major. I'm talking about major better. Been betting on sports way before we started.
Is that right?
And that's a whole nother conversation, y'all. Because this betting, I'm wondering, is it affecting the game? But that's a whole nother subject. But
watch out, because I'm a referee, so I'm with you on that one too. That's another topic, another day.
Okay. Did everyone speak about this game? Did I leave anyone out? If they did, whatever. Okay.
We good.
The next game is the Jets and the Broncos. Two of the sorriest teams in the league. What's your thoughts on the game, Charles Snowden?
We gotta get Chuck an updated microphone.
I'm glad the Jets won. For me, that's just really the bottom line. I'm glad the Jets won. And on the winning play, Bryce Hall, University of Virginia, Charles's old teammate, did a scoop and score on the last play, and it was good to see Bryce score. I always root for the UVA guys.
Okay. Larry Abels?
It was just the Nathaniel Hackett Bowl where Sean Payton had cracked on him, saying that Russell Wilson's season last year was due to his lack of coaching. So I was glad to see Hackett and just when Hackett got the game ball. And I knew the Jets defense was pretty good and they'd be up for this game. And I was glad to see the Jets pull that out. But like someone said, two of the worst teams in the league. Well, amongst Washington.
All right. McNutt, did you comment on that yet?
No, but all I got to say, Sean Payton think he's the smartest guy in the room. So I'm glad he got his butt whipped. That was class is what he said about Hackett.
Okay. Bobby?
Oh, boy. What's the quarterback name for the Jets? Is it Zach Wilson? Is that his name?
Yeah, Zach, something like that, yeah.
Oh, man. He's not the answer. Russell, they said he's been terrorized. Ever since he's been there, he ain't been the same. That's all I have to say about that game.
Okay. All right. So
he booty whipped, as they say in DC.
Before we leave the NCAA, the National Football League, and go to the NCAA football, I want to ask you: is Brock Purdy a legitimate MVP candidate? I'll start with you, Kevin McNutt.
Undefeated, baby. They're undefeated. So you got to put them up there. Although right now I'll probably give it to Tua. But yeah, you got to be in the conversation. They're 5-0 and don't look like they're getting ready to stumble anytime soon.
Okay. Larry Abels, your thoughts?
I'm not even sure he's the MVP on his team. They got McCaffrey, who's really scored 1,000 touchdowns there. But, Purdy's playing well. It's a propensity to give it to quarterbacks. So sure he gets some consideration.
Okay. Charles Snowden?
Just wait a few minutes for his computer to catch up.
If the season ended now, he'd be in the conversation. But I agree with Larry that I'm not sure he's the best player on this team. I'm not even sure he's the second best player on this team.
Okay. All right. Bobby?
Too early. This is too early. It's way too early to be talking about somebody MVP.
We know it's early, Bobby. When I ask a question like that, I mean to this point of the season. He can get hurt next week and not play the rest of the season.
Okay, you're right, Earl. You're right. Let me retract my statement. Since you're asking me to answer this question, I retract my statement. Too early.
Okay. Is there any subject anybody wants to talk about anything in the NFL before we move on?
I thought we were talking about Belichick too. Down in New England,
Ooh.
he having a real rough go, right?
Larry Abel, is it time for Bill Belichick to retire? Or is it time for the New England Patriots to let him go? Or what's going on?
I think a key to his success was obviously Tom Brady. I think if you take Brady away from him, even prior to starting Brady, his record was mediocre. And maybe he'll have to give up some of his GM duties. He's picked most of these players that he's had the last few years. So I'm not sure if they'll take him out of the coaching ranks, but I think they'll probably ask him to step down from being a GM.
Okay. Charles Snowden, is it time for Belichick to retire or get fired?
You said get fired.
I think at his age, 71 years old, I think it is getting close to that time. I'm not trying to hit the ageism on him, but it looks like the game might have started to pass him by. And I think this started big time when and we talked about this too, Earl, when he made Matt Patricia be his offensive coordinator a year ago, when he had gotten fired by the Detroit Lions. He coached, and he was a defensive coach. That never. That was to me the beginning of the end, and it's just been spiraling down. They look bad right now.
McNutt?
This is a stat courtesy of Stephen A. Belichick, without Brady, is 72-79. That's one point. The other point was, as a GM, he's been a GM since 2010. He has not had he's only had 2 all-pro players.
That's not true.
And one of them was a punter and the other was a punt return. So he's not getting it done right now. And they look lost. And another thing, like Chuck said, he put Matt Patricia, a DC, a defensive coordinator, and Joe Judge, a special team coach that went to New York and flopped in a year and a half as co-offensive coordinators. That's just crazy. So yeah, I think again, 6 rings, all with Brady, but he's HOF, but time is moving.
Okay, Bobby,
asking Belichick to come back, it's like asking for Vince Lombardi to get out of his grave and come coach. Stop that daggone foolishness, man. Go somewhere and sit down.
Wow, this is kind of harsh. That's harsh treatment for someone who a lot of people that I know think is the greatest coach they ever coached. That's harsh treatment, Bobby.
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta, like, what's his name? Kenny Rogers say you gotta know when to hold him,
When to fold.
know when to fold him. And that's one of the biggest things you all in any athlete in this sport. Knowing, especially if you played at the highest level of your game, knowing when to quit, coaching or playing. It's like a curse and a blessing, man. But it's time for him to. I think it's time for him to step down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the NCAA.
Willie Mays was rolling the ball in from center field.
Exactly.
Hey, look, we talk about the say hey kid, but it got so bad for Willie Mays, Bobby. He come up to bat with 2 outs, and the coach gave him a sacrifice sign.
That was bad how Willie went out like that.
I know, man.
Right. It's not pretty, man.
Okay, let's move on over to NCAA football. Is Michigan really a good team, or have they just not played anybody as of yet? I'll start with you, Larry Abels.
I think both things could be true. So when you consider that, I'd have to say I think they're probably a pretty decent team, but the jury's somewhat out on them.
Okay. All right. Charles, what do you think? Wow.
I absolutely agree. They haven't played anybody, and they don't play anybody till the end of the year when they play Penn State and Ohio State. So we won't know until later on in the year. I do think they're a good team, but I don't know how good until later in the year.
Okay.
Chuck
is like having a hearing aid on number 1.
Kevin McNutt, did you see the game?
Parts of it, man. But what's to say? I mean, these big boys are lined up. They done stripped everybody to be all these power conferences, and then the first thing y'all just said they ain't play nobody. I find that very interesting. So,
Wow.
Okay.
Bob, do you have anything to say about that?
No, I'm not really interested in Michigan. There's a lot of other teams that I'm really interested in. To be honest, that's all I gotta say. I don't know much because they don't cite me, so I don't even follow them.
Big Ten, you got Big Ten bias there, Bob? No, you feel Big Ten man though. Well, we used to be independent, then we went in the Big Ten. I don't think we should have never won the Big Ten, but anyway. No, that's another topic. Yep.
Okay, USC and Arizona. Did anybody check their game out?
You go ask Larry. Huh?
That's Larry, my bedtime.
Larry, did you watch the game?
I watched some of the highlights of it. Triple overtime. Surprised that USC is ranked number 10 or something like that.
Number 9.
Okay. Well, and coming in, going against a 3-2 team and has to go triple overtime. I think we've been discussing USC's defense, a lot. So it reminds me of a court. Some of you here in court, the defense rests because they surely don't play when they come out there.
Okay, all right. So, did anyone check out the Georgia and Kentucky game?
And before you move to the Georgia game, I just want to make a point about the USC Arizona game, right? Isn't that what we just talked about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't want us to go over Noah Fafita, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the freshman quarterback for Arizona. He threw for 303 yards and 5 touchdowns. I thought the boy was phenomenal, a freshman, and not to be overlooked. He was a beast. But that's all I wanted to mention before we went to the next school.
Yeah.
You don't think he was that good?
It's the USC defense.
Yeah, but people always say that.
It's
but
the USC defense.
People always say that, but I don't know too many people can go out there and throw 5 touchdowns. The little sisters of the poor.
Right.
That's all my point is. And good point, Chuck.
Did you see Shakira Sanders against that defense the week before that?
Yes. That doesn't take away from the freshman, though. To come in like that, that's what I'm saying. As a freshman, that was pretty impressive. But anyway, Earl, this one.
Okay. So Maryland played Ohio State the other day.
Oh, Jesus.
And Ohio State supposedly, they're ranked very high. But even though that the score indicated that they beat them by a lot of points, the game was actually pretty close. So I guess I'm asking, how good can Ohio State possibly be if they can barely beat Maryland?
The score was close.
So that's the question I'm asking.
Well, they won by 20.
Hello.
It was a good game. Maryland was 5-0, and so it wasn't like they were. It was a good game for 3 quarters or 2.5 quarters.
Right. They still beat by 20.
Maryland's good.
Let's move on. That was just my sly way of trying to bash the Big Ten. Nobody cares about the Big Ten anyway. So I don't even know why.
Thank you.
Horrible ass league. Okay. All right.
My sentiment exactly.
We're in the top 5, Big Ten.
Let's flip over to Major League Baseball. Okay?
Hey, Earl, before you slide out of football, there's some important things that happened. I just want to mention right quick the Georgia-Kentucky game. Now, it was a blowout, and that's not the point. But the Kentucky coach made a public statement, and this need to be addressed. He said that the reason why Georgia won, because all those players are bought, meaning they all are getting NIL. And it brings up that issue because he's saying, so he was making a plea to Kentucky school boosters to give him more money so that he can have more players. But that was he came out after the coach at Georgia talking about he's got bought players. And now that starts that whole NIL thing. And I thought it was crazy for him to say it because everybody's doing it.
Yeah. Hey, Bob, I wonder what their basketball team.
Yeah.
Basketball team. I said, what about their basketball team?
Yeah.
But he came out hard against the guy, And I don't know if it was more he was trying to raise money from his boosters to give, once again, the public announcement to Little Dog was to his boosters. But I thought that was so, and that NIL going to keep coming up. Y'all know the number 7th guy in the NIL in money is Harrison's son for Ohio State. He's at 1.6 million. Secure right now, NIL
Marvin
money
Harrison
is
Jr.
at 2.4 million. But anyway, I don't want to get into a whole other subject, but I want to get that Kentucky-Georgia thing. They got blown out, and he's going to blame it because the guy saying they paid for all of
See,
it.
that's worse than what Magic Johnson said.
Larry has a response. Larry has a response for that.
That's worse than what Magic Johnson said. See, he's telling his players they ain't crap. That's what he's telling them.
Yeah, but he's begging. Stop begging.
Yeah. Go down the hall.
He's just jealous and envious that he don't have as much money to spend as the boys from the other guys that make it to spending all the money.
Well, look, and Kentucky's a basketball school. He knew that when he took the job. That money's
How about
going
that, Kevin? How about that?
That's going to Calipari first, and then his boys second, unless they just raise some more money. But so yeah, stop whining, man.
All right.
If you don't like it, go coach.
Guy you did.
Anna Claire or somebody. Get out of here, man.
Okay, one more thing before we move on. Obviously, we can go about 45 minutes, but what the heck? But I was going to ask you, does it seem like the SEC is not as strong? It's not as strong this year as it normally is. I'm asking Larry this.
I guess the top teams, I always think they really only have about 3 teams that are really that great. Just like the Big Ten, those conferences are strong, but it seems like they have dominant teams. Now, Georgia's still pretty good there. Alabama's probably falling off a little bit. LSU's probably falling off. So, yeah, they're probably not as I talk my way through it, probably not as strong.
Okay. Bobby, you follow the SEC or you don't really give a crap?
No, I do. Because the SEC has been coming on pretty strong, and they becoming the premier conference too. But I mean, in the game of sports, it's always about ebbs and flows. It's always ebbs and flows. Mm-hmm. I don't think they've dropped substantially, but Larry, you make a point. It's always been just the top schools anyway. But I don't know if I can say that they're any weaker. Actually, I don't think if so, not significantly.
I would say that they are because they're one of the top teams, Alabama. I don't think too many people are afraid of them anymore. So if they're one of their top teams going now,
I bet you what they won't go to sleep on Alabama.
They don't really have anybody that's really all that good.
Yeah, but you better not sleep on Alabama. They'll whip your behind just on program.
Messing with Saban.
Okay. All right. Over to Major League.
Hey,
yes,
go.
Sir.
Hey,
yes,
go. I think the NIL is. I think the NIL and spreading the money around is making more balance.
And the portal.
Throughout
and
the portal. The money is being spread around to everybody. The other day, Utah. Right. And the other day, Utah, every scholarship player got a truck. 85 players on the Utah football team, and every member of the team that was on a scholarship got a truck.
Wow.
2023.
I'm gonna address that in my closing comment.
Spreading the money around.
Okay, let's go over to Major League Baseball, gentlemen, playoff series here. Okay, last night, the Texas Rangers defeated the Baltimore Orioles in the best-of-5 series. They won 3-0. So it's no sense to me asking who you think is going to win that series. Okay. So today, the Phillies beat the Braves 10-2.
Yep.
And the series is now tied at 1.
Wow.
No, Philly's up 2-1. Philly's up 2-1.
You're absolutely right because they won. My fault. My bad. So, Charles Snowden, who is he going to win that series, Phillies or Atlanta Braves?
I would have said earlier Atlanta. I'm still going to stay with Atlanta, but I still like the Braves.
Okay. All right. Who do you like in that series, Larry?
Sorry, I'm on a delay.
Before I answer that, I'm gonna just give an observation. You have Baltimore that won 101 games, and Tampa won 99 games. The two best teams in the American League. Texas beat both of them. You had the Dodgers who won 100 games. They're down 2-0. And now you got Atlanta who won 104 games. They're down 2-1. And they were lucky to get that win the other night. They were no hit through 7 innings. So I got to think Philadelphia has the momentum and they're going to win this.
Okay. Bobby?
I'm just going to be straight honest. I like the Phillies.
Okay.
But I don't like baseball. I think it's the most boring sport.
No, I didn't ask you that, but okay.
I'm sorry. No, I told you. That's why I started off. I said I do like the Phillies. I have watched. And I think the Phillies would take Atlanta. But for real,
that would suffice. We're not in the real category right now.
Well, when you start censoring people on this show, I must have been here in a while. I didn't know y'all started censoring people.
I'm not censoring people. I'm just telling you.
DPIIP.
You answered the question I didn't ask you about.
MOUSE. All these goddamn statistics, man. They just take that damn game.
Kevin, who do you think is going to win the series? We ain't got time for all these fools.
I think Chuck and Larry, they are opposite my man Bryce Harper, so that's why they're going with the Braves. But I hope the Braves get it because I don't particularly care for Philly. That's
I think Philly's going to win.
You think Philly's going to win? But I'm more intrigued with the Diamondback series being down to the Dodgers. But I got to give you props, Larry. What you just said about all those teams winning 100 games or 99 games and being there. That was a fantastic statement. And Earl, again, I apologize, man, because you told me that Larry was a lot smarter than he looked, and now I believe you. You know what I'm saying?
You need to get some glasses anyway, so you know. You're visually impaired anyway.
Oh no, he didn't say he's smarter than
him. Hey, Bob, I appreciate you for coming on the show. We love it when you do come on the show. The next time, maybe we'll make you the moderator so you can.
I'm down.
Who says whatever? Okay,
hey,
but when you're not the moderator, and I say let's move on. Let's just.
I'm down, but just remember, Larry, beauty is on the skin deep. And if it is, somebody need to turn your butt inside out. No, okay, we'll stop.
Ha 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 ha. All right.
Bobby, you get his feelings now, Bobby. Why you do that, Bobby?
I'm actually happy that I don't appeal to you. I'm actually happy about that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. If you had a wig on, it wouldn't help.
Okay. All right, guys. Let's see what's next here. We might be about ready to end everything here. Okay. Oh, and the Dodgers are playing. Who are the Dodgers playing? Oh,
Diamondbacks.
Arizona.
Diamondbacks.
Down 2-0.
Who do you think's gonna win that series? Chuck Snowden. Let's wait 20 minutes for the delay.
That boy got a courier pigeon.
It looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be Arizona. Although I'm shocked.
Shocked.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
Who do you think? I know you don't like baseball, but who do you think will win
the other night?
No, I'm gonna be straightforward, Earl. I think the Diamondbacks are going to win it, but actually, though, I don't really give a goddamn about this sport. It's one of the most boring sports I've ever seen in my life. All
right, okay, who do you think is going to win?
I'm pulling for the underdog. I love upsets. So give me Diamondbacks. Go get it in. Bye Dodgers. Oh, they got a brother coaching, but still, it's the Dodgers. Hey, let me ask you, is Magic still got his ownership with them, or he had to get?
No, he still owns part of that too.
Okay.
I don't even say nothing about them.
Yeah. How about that? That's why I brought it up, Bobby. You read my mind, bro.
They usually win.
They usually win.
That's true.
Big difference.
Baseball bats.
Hey, Earl, the Dodgers had the two best players in the National League, arguably with Mookie Betts and I can't think of the guy that got from Atlanta.
Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman, yeah. They won 100 games. All the power in the world. And Diamondbacks have outscored them 15-4 the first 2 games. And Diamondbacks are like not a real hard-hitting team, but they got it going now. I think the Diamondbacks are going to take them.
Hey, Larry, tell Bobby you know math. Maybe you can't spell, but you know math. Tell him that.
No math. I got a vocabulary. I got all that, You
got it all. Okay.
You got it all. He went to St. Anthony's.
And I know some ladies that say Larry's really handsome. So
He went to the all-boys school that used to take all showers together.
No all-boys school at St. Anthony, man.
No.
We're not all-boys school.
Y'all had girls?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we weren't an all-boys school.
Hey, Earl, and you're right. I stand corrected. It's just some of the girls look like men, and I thought it was all boys.
So you crossing the line, soldier now.
They had some nice ladies over there. Now they weren't.
I never dated a girl from St. Anthony.
They weren't like the.
You sure did date a girl from St. Anthony, and she quit you. I asked her about it.
I did date a girl from St. Anthony.
What'd you say, Bobby?
Don't stop.
What'd you say, Bobby?
Please don't stop.
What'd you say, Bobby?
Nobody's talking to you.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, guys.
Yes, I did. She left and went to Coolidge.
Okay. All right. All right. We're gonna wrap this up. I want to thank Kevin McNutt and Special K Kinder for coming on the show tonight, and also Larry and Charles because they're very busy, and I appreciate when they take the time out to come on to the show. So we're gonna see if anyone has any closing remarks so we can wrap this thing up. Do you have any closing remarks? Let's get Charles so we can get that 10-minute delay out and then go on. Charles, do you have any closing remarks?
Milo, I saw a 60-minute special on Rich Paul. Rich Paul is an agent. He has a big part of the NBA guys, and he started out, shooting craps and came from a tough background in Cleveland, ran into LeBron James in the airport, and parlayed that to him into one of the biggest figures in the NBA and the agents business. And I just thought it was very impressive. Anybody get a chance to see the 60-minute special on Rich Paul, check it out. And Earl, you should like him. And you know why? He like you and me. He's born December 16th. So he's a Sagittarian.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Rich Paul.
Rich Paul, boys and
girls. Or
girls.
Maverick Carter. I don't have a problem with either one of them. I think they're great. Now, why you brought that up, I don't know. But, I guess maybe because it has something to do with your son, LeBron James. I guess I'm just imagining. I don't know. Okay. All right. Bobby, do you have a closing remark?
Yes, I do. And forgive me if I'm being redundant because I haven't been on the show and y'all might have covered it. But I want to cover it because it's happened a month or so ago, was the FIBA World Championships. They actually called that the World Championships. And Germany kicked the United States butt. The United States got kicked by Canada and came in, didn't even get a medal, came in 4th place. So there's this talk about, the NBA don't need to be calling it the NBA the World Championship anymore. And I just like to say this. On almost every one of the NBA teams were those professional players from those other countries. So the NBA is still the world championship because almost all those guys that played in those different countries, Serbia, go down the line, play in the NBA. So they were trying to say the NBA don't need to be calling itself the world championship anymore. All of them playing in the NBA. So anyway, that's just my last remark about that.
Okay. Kevin, do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, real quick. You mentioned it earlier about the University of Utah gifted each football player, 85 scholarship players, a 2024 Ram pickup truck. This NIL thing is really gotten big and out of control. They saying Caleb Williams is making $2 million. He's making more than Trevor Lawrence, the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So this money thing is really out of control. And I guess it bothers me because I'm old school. Because back in the day when I was heavily recruited, Bobby, I had one school offer me 2 cars, one to drive during the week and the other one to drive during the weekend. But that was, that was underground. So
I mean, does a Pinto and a Pacer count?
But anyway, but the point is balance is lost. But then again, if I want to jump on that, then I got to jump on all these these drug lords of commissioners and chancellors and conference commissioners that went up here and blew up the 105-year-old Pac-12 out of greed and money. So, so I ain't gonna be mad at the players from getting it. You know what I'm saying? In the movie Wall Street, Gordon Gekko said greed is good. And that's exactly what's happening now in college sports. I'm out on that.
Good call.
Okay.
Good call, McNutt.
Larry, that wasn't bad, Kevin. Larry, you have a closing remark?
Yes, and this is, since I know they're listening, this is to the leadership of the WNBA. You got a great tournament going on with the two top teams playing, but why did you wait a week to start your finals? Then you're going to start it on Sunday afternoon at 3:00 when you got the NFL and Major League Baseball playoffs on, and Game 3 is next Sunday. We got Tuesday, Thursday, all these other days you'll go against baseball, but you don't want to go against the NFL. We were all upset because those players were not getting paid, and Brittany Griner had to go over to Russia and play. Do something to help yourself out. There was no need to wait a week to start.
That's why I didn't see it. That's why I didn't see it. Well done, Brian.
Guys, we're going to wrap it up. Believe it or not, we covered everything that we put on the agenda. It took longer than 45 minutes, but we still got it. But before we go and close the show,
It's Bobby's fault.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Get people in prison today because of kind of
We
stuff.
started off today trying to talk about Drew Holiday, but I can't remember. Did we ever talk about it? Did we ever talk about
No.
how it affects the team he went to or anything? Can we squeeze that in before we wrap it up?
Let's stay on now. We can do that when the NBA starts. That'll be starting in a couple of weeks.
All right, I just have to find a new crew to call somebody to talk about. I wouldn't talk about that. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for all the listeners that tuned in. And we will be back next week. Our host will be Charles Snowden. I'll let you know who the analysts. I'll let you all know who all the analysts that will be participating in a couple of days. Hope you guys have a great evening, and everyone has a very blessed and productive evening. This is Earl Rush with Real Fellas Talk Sports. You guys have a great time.
Take it easy. Choke.